I want you to share this show, but ask the question. And this is the really important part of this. You need to ask the question, post it, share this video. What is the one thing that is keeping you from success? Start getting a dialogue going with your friends. Have them watch the video on the subject of this video. And in the process of doing that, let's start getting our friends focused on achieving success, working towards success, because birds of a feather flock together. The greatest indicator of where you will be in the next 5 years is the books you read and the people you associate with. So if the people in your circle are talking about success, they're focused on success, they're looking towards success and achieving success, the chances of you succeeding will go way up. So please share the show, but ask the question, what is the one thing that is keeping you from success? And get this conversation going. Start asking people to chime in, bring their comments in, and get a dialogue going, because when we're all focused on that goal, when we're all talking about it, when the friends in our circle are doing it, you're pushing towards success too. So today, the one thing that keeps you from success, that's what we're discussing today. This is a big, big conversation, and I really, really need y'all to pay attention. There's a couple sentences here that are critical. A couple sentences that are critical, right? The thing that's keeping you from success is fear. Now listen to this. This is I'm gonna be very slow and clear in my speaking. Fear is a lie. The only place fear can exist is in your thoughts of the future. It is a product of your imagination. It causes you to believe things that as of yet have not happened, and in fact may never happen. Now, let me be clear. Danger, it's real. But fear is a choice. And today, from this day forward, you can choose the story that you believe. I want to dwell on this, guys. This is like a mind-blowing thing to realize. You need to speak in front of an audience. You need to make a big sale. You need to convince your boss for a raise. All the fear starts setting in. All of the anxiety starts setting in. That little voice in the head that says, oh yeah, but you're not a good speaker. You get really nervous in front of crowds. You're really not, you didn't do as good, last month in your sales, and so that your boss is not gonna like you, or what. All that negative internal talk, all that is fear. It is fear-based. And listen to this. Fear is a product of your imagination. Literally, the only place fear can exist is in you thinking about future events that have not happened yet, that you are manifesting into reality. You are making them real in your imagination in a future situation, a future scenario. That to me is near insanity. Why would I task my brain with dwelling on potential, not even real, potential negative outcomes in the future? They haven't even happened yet. And yet, that's what we do on the daily. That is what we do day in and day out in our lives with that negative internal voice. Chime in with your thoughts about this, because I feel like, this is one of the heaviest, biggest concepts that you can realize. The thing that is keeping you from success, the thing that is really stopping you, the thing that is really, really holding you back is fear. Because fear causes inaction. Fear causes a lack of confidence. It spreads like a virus to other people. When you are nervous, right? If I got up here on this mic and I was like, hi guys, today I'm going to be talking about how fear holds you back, you would tune out in 2 seconds. Who would listen to that, right? You have to be able to convey confidence for people to believe in you, right? If you're going to succeed, you need to draw people to you. Whether that's a client, whether that's employees, whether that's your boss, whether that's a spouse or potential spouse, it doesn't matter. You need to radiate confidence in who you are, belief in who you are. And I'm kind of getting ahead of myself here in my talk, but this is something I'm really, really passionate about. Listen to this very, very closely. Fear is a lie. I feel like I feel like a preacher today. Somebody needs to hear this. This message is for you. Fear is a lie. The only place fear can exist is in your thoughts of the future. It's a product of your imagination, causing you to believe things that as of yet have not happened, and in fact, may never happen. And that to me is near insanity. Now, let me be clear. Danger is real. But fear is a choice. And today, now, from this moment forward, you can choose to believe whatever story you want. You can believe the fear-based negative projection, or you can believe the faith-based positive outcome. It's a choice. With the same effort, with the same energy, you can tell yourselves a story and choose to believe whatever you want. Why not choose to believe something that is in your best benefit? How the mind works. Now, we've all heard the phrase flight or fight, right? That's a very common, thing if you've been through any kind of biology class or whatever else, flight or fight. But in reality, I'm as a psychology major and a fanatic for studying how the mind works and understanding that stuff, I'm trying to dial down a lot of years of stuff I've studied into just a short kind of a thing. But in reality, the way the mind works is freeze, flight, or fight. So, way back when man was out hunting for his food and living off the land, so to speak, we were not the apex predator, so to speak. We had saber-toothed tiger to deal with and all kind of other stuff, right, that were bigger, faster, stronger than us. So you're out hunting and saber-toothed tiger comes strolling along. The first psychological reaction that is fear-based is to freeze. Fear causes you to freeze. Stand still. Maybe the saber-tooth won't see us, right? Now, saber-toothed tiger sees you and starts strolling over. And at this point, you figure out he knows your food. So you flight. You start running, which ironically is a signal to all predators that you are prey. So now saber-toothed tiger is in pursuit. And only when you are cornered and have no other options does it turn into fight. That process has been drilled into our brain. And so when you start getting into fear mode, literally what is happening in your brain is a psychological process of dialing down all the other centers of your brain except for the ones that gives your body the biggest capacity for flight and fight. So creative problem solving starts getting shut down. All that kind of stuff is taking place in the brain when you're in fear mode. It's like tunnel vision. And so literally, fear starts shutting down the capacities of your brain to think creatively, to think in problem-solving modes, to think outside of the box, right? And we know this. We recognize it. You get into a zone where you're just like, man, when I was talking to that person, I was just really on fire. I knew what I was talking about, and they were just hanging on every word. You've all experienced these kind of moments in life, whether it's in dance or whether it's in, pick a thing. But it's usually after you spent that thousands of hours mastering your craft, and now you just have that subtle confidence. In martial arts, it's literally a phrase in our style that we study called peaceful confidence. When I can be at peace with anybody because I know I have confidence in what I can do. And so I don't need to cause a drama and get into a fight or anything like that. Why? Because I know what I can do. I can be at peace. I can relax. And so it's just being in that flow, right? And so this is at the heart of why fear causes you to be unsuccessful. And it's all based on future BS that doesn't even exist. You're just focused on it. And so now, once you take that in and you're in fear-based operation, the mind does not care what you're giving it to work on. This is the way the mind works. It's just a processor for problem solving. I need to pick up this glass. The mind says, okay, that's these neurons connected to these muscles to fire down this electrical path to make the muscles move, grab it, and off we go. The mind doesn't care what you're giving it to work on. It just knows it's a problem you need to solve. That's why you're tasking the mind with it, right? And so when you start focusing on a future outcome that is negative, the mind doesn't care. It just believes that's the outcome you need to accomplish. And so when you start saying, well, I get nervous in front of big crowds. Well, the mind leads the body. The body says, okay, well, if we need to be nervous, I need to accelerate heart rate. I need to start perspiring, all this kind of stuff to cause nervousness. You're tasking the mind with a future outcome. It doesn't care what the outcome is. With the same energy, with the same effort, you can start tasking your mind to achieve future outcomes that are in your favor. It's the same energy and the same effort. Fear causes a self-fulfilling prophecy. I get nervous in front of crowds, therefore I can't speak. So when you get in front of the crowd, you get nervous and you can't speak. Self-fulfilling prophecy. Now it becomes validating to you, right? How about this? You know what? When I get in front of an audience, I get nervous, but it turns into crazy energy. And I turn into Robin Williams. I just get on fire and people love me. Same thought process. Why not give yourself that much energy to focus on getting the job done in a way that is best for you and, for that matter, best for everybody else, right? When you succeed, you're doing a lot more for the world when you fail than when you fail, all right? That's how the mind works. So this is the wrap up, guys. You see this on my screen back there behind me. Fear freezes. Faith frees. Belief in a future outcome that is positive, belief in a future outcome that achieves your goals and your missions is the first step. You have that mission, that's the first step. The mission is the first step. Second step is now belief in achieving that mission, seeing it. How many of you remember Adrian Brody in the movie The Pianist? He was portraying a real life story about a guy whose name I'm going to butcher, but it was Władysław Spielman. Władysław Spielman, a Polish Jewish composer, pianist. And he was an accomplished pianist before before Nazi Germany came in and ended up imprisoning him in a concentration camp. He was literally in a concentration camp for a number of years before he was freed. And when he came out, he was an even better pianist and composer. And he rose to fame after that. And people were just blown away by this. It's like, how did you get better while you were in a concentration camp? I'm pretty sure they didn't let a Jewish guy sit around and practice piano and write compositions. And his response was equally dumbfounded and baffling. He's like, all I had to do was play piano. He said, I played piano 8 to 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day. And they were like, well, where did you get to a piano? He said, in my mind. He would sit around composing in his mind for hours and hours on end, seeing a future event and working towards it. Even though his situation and scenario was as bad as it gets, his faith, his belief in that future outcome allowed him to continue to push forward towards it. And so consequently, when he got out of that situation, he was well on his way to being far better than he was when he went in. It's just a matter of seeing it in your mind. You have to be able to visualize it. You have to be able to push towards it. If you don't know what your mission is, that's number one. Live your mission. If you don't know what it is, you can't work towards it. And number two, if you don't realize how the mind works, and that fear is that negative internal voice that tells us all of the things that we don't want to hear, that we're going to fail, we're going to fail, we're going to fail. And there's a bunch of reasons for it. Man, I can talk on this for hours, but I got to keep this short. There's a bunch of reasons why it happens. You have to identify that it happens and shut it down. You have to realize that it's a lie, that it is a false story that you tell yourself about a future event. And with the same energy, you can flip the script and tell yourself a different story with this equal amount of energy that's just as believable and work towards it. And your mind will help you work towards that goal. Isn't that a lot better idea, guys? I think it is.